Welcome to video 11 on Traincontroller 10 Gold. Schedules have a set of rules via which we can change the behavior of the schedule, the way the trains start or do not start. Let's have a look at a couple of examples of these schedule rules. In a previous video we created this intercity clockwise schedule, and the purpose of it is to drive from station Twinwoods to station Bedford, where it has a scheduled stop, and then back to Twinwoods. Let's have a look at the schedule rules. For that we go to edit mode, double click the schedule, and there we have the rules in view. Let me zoom in. By default, the first rule that has a tick mark is only select trains in start blocks. Well, the text is self-explaining. If a train is in a start block, like this one over here, it will start. If the train is somewhere else on the schedule, it will not start. Let's have a look if that really is true. Let me cancel out and exit edit mode and start this schedule, and let's see if it ends up here in the list. Yes, it does. There is a train here in a start block, so it can start this schedule. Let me end this schedule. I do that via this terminate all schedules toolbar icon, and that takes out all schedules from the list. The trains will come to a stop. Don't do this when they are on top of a turnout. That may lead to troubles later when you restart things. Let's have a look what happens if this train was not in this start block, but if suppose it was over here. It is on the path of this schedule, but not in the start block. What happens in demo mode is often happens that you have a red block with no train in it. You can get rid of such a block by opening a traffic control window over here. I have such a window open. Click on the window on the block. Yeah, what is it? The pin current window. Yeah, I never understood that text quite well, but what it means is if I click this block, then that's the block that it currently shows, and over here I can get rid of that sensor. Well, let's start the schedule again and let's see what happens. I start it. It does not end up in the list. Yeah, normally, to me personally, it depends on what you like. For me personally, if a train is on a schedule, I like it to start no matter where it is. So I like to change this behavior. Let's go to edit mode and let's double click. And let me now switch off this tick mark and get out of edit mode again. Yeah, we have to answer that question and get out of edit mode and restart the schedule, and now see what happens. It immediately starts, it ends up at the list. No matter where this train is on this path of the schedule, it will start. Let me stop the schedule again. Let's put this train back at the start point, and now let's add a cargo train that for some reason is on the path of this schedule. It may be running on a totally different schedule, but it is currently right there. And now the question is, what is going to happen if I start this schedule? Let's do it. Let me start this schedule. All of a sudden we see that this cargo train is now driving on my intercity clockwise schedule. That is not what I want. And luckily there's a solution for that. We can tell a schedule which trains should be allowed on it. So let's first do that. And now we go to the train stop. In the train stop we can select vehicles over here to see them all. And what I want to do is only allow the intercity cargo trains, intercity clockwise trains. and I have 2 of those. Okay, I added 2 trains to this schedule. These are now the only trains that are allowed, and the cargo train is not, so probably this cargo train is now not going to drive. Let me test it out. I start the schedule again. Yes, it ends up in the list for the intercity clockwise engine. It doesn't start to drive, yeah, because it cannot yet drive. The block ahead is reserved by this cargo train. Let's have a look at the second rule. It says train may stay in start block. Personally, I always switch that on. What it means is even if the train cannot leave the current block, because there's reserved blocks or routes or occupied blocks or routes ahead, still the schedule will start. It will end up here in the list, and that is what I personally always prefer. Not that I start a schedule and it does not end up in the list. I want the train to stay where it is until it can start to drive. The start delay, that means when the signal becomes green, the train driver has a reaction time. It is now on 2 seconds. Let's put it on 5 seconds so that we can really see it, and let's see how that works out. Let's go out of edit mode. Let me start this schedule. First we get a wait, it ends up in the list. We have a waiting time, and when it is over it becomes green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we should see over here it starts to drive. Well, that works perfectly nice. It's on your own preference what you like to have here. The next rule, minimum acceleration time. If it is put on 0, it means that the train adheres to the acceleration that we gave it. Let's go to this train properties. That we gave it over here in the speed tab acceleration slider. That's the acceleration it uses. However, you can change that on a per schedule basis. So if you like, you can give this train a slow or low acceleration. Let's do it, put it on 20 seconds. Mind you that this 20 seconds is from 0 to full speed. This locomotive has a full speed of 80, so 20 seconds over here means it goes to 40 in 10 seconds. Let's see if that works. It is a nice test. Let me start the schedule, and first of course we have the waiting time over there, then it becomes green. Yeah, right now I still have just 5 seconds in. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I counted a bit fast, but it really took 10 seconds to get to a speed of 40. So this seems to work well. The next rule in the list is start the oldest train. Well, this is a schedule that has 2 trains. Suppose they both were here at Twinwoods and I press start. Traincontroller remembers which train was there already the longest, and it will start that train. Well, with a schedule with 2 trains that is not really a big deal, but you can have a big station with 8 tracks and 8 trains running on one schedule, and then yeah, it will start the train that already has been for the longest time over there. The next is do not reset the resting time. It's best to read the help file over here, otherwise this video becomes quite long with a detail that probably not many people will use. Then we have a look at train may only start in current direction, or only in forward direction, or only in backward direction. Well, that speaks for itself, I would say. Then we move on to a section on a reservation of blocks and routes, and this could be a whole video in itself, but there's not really a big purpose. The best thing to do is read the manual, experiment what it does for you. And after some experimentation, I figured out that for my personal preference, I set the tick marks like this. The tick mark is on for reserve occupied blocks and reserve occupied routes. And then for the unavailable blocks and routes, it is on for include occupied, include reserved and include restricted. I figured this out after a whole lot of experimentation. Your mileage may differ and your preferences may differ, but this works for me. Well, this video is already getting a bit long and we have a whole lot of other rules still to cover. So let's split it and do the next rules in the next video. Thank you for watching and in the meantime, have fun.